going,
two,
guys?
1. We are live on YouTube
I'm
and
drafting you a
X.
tweet.
Sick.
YouTube and X.
YouTube and
For the
X.
first time.
We may be the first person ever to be live on Twitter Spaces, X, and YouTube simultaneously.
Probably not, but we might.
We might actually be, though.
Hey, dude, you know you could be like a voiceover actor?
He is a voiceover actor.
Yeah, what do you mean?
Oh, well, slide into my DMs, sir.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm not actually a voiceover actor. I've had this weird attitude towards it for like a decade where I'm like, if someone hits me up and they're like, hey, you can do this, like I have an opportunity, then I will do it. But I've pursued it literally zero. So
dude, I could get you like auditions. Not auditions, but like you could submit your tape. I could throw that
be on
shit
Nate's
into the
casting
mix.
couch.
Dude, hit me up, dude. I'll be like, in a world.
Dude, yeah. This is recorded, right? Keep going.
I'm making my tape right now. I could do it.
Literally the Pablo Francisco.
I could do impressions. You know what I mean? Be like Morgan Freeman style. Be like, you never thought that anybody could go live on YouTube, Twitter. Well, now it's X, but back in my day.
I'd save that for the second interview, but I like where your head's at.
So stick to the announcer guy, kind of more serious. Okay.
Yeah, find your own lane. And then, they always ask for multiple takes,
I don't know if you do this, but Nate is a big guy.
What if all I could do was the in a world thing, but they just had to like inflect differently? I'd be like, in a world.
That's pretty much what it is.
In a world. Just drop it like.
That was giving me some Will Arnett vibes.
Oh man, that's awesome. Well, all
right.
right.
Today's show.
We'll tape later.
Yeah, we'll
all
drop.
About dude lives.
We'll drop a mixtape later. Funny enough, Nate, I have a tweet draft cooked where I was going to offer one free voiceover per Friend.Tech key purchased, and I was going to use it as some weird kind of way to do that. I thought it'd be interesting. Maybe I'll hit publish on that tweet after all.
Do it.
Awesome.
Well, no, let me sign you to a casting deal first, and then we'll pump you.
Okay, cool. Yeah, get your royalties, King.
Yes, we'll put it on chain, of course.
Of course.
Let me buy keys first, though.
Yeah, you have the alpha.
This is the warning, right?
Do we need to delete this recording? Is this insider trading?
I don't think it's even recorded right now.
Is this that NRN boardroom meeting?
Yeah.
They're keys, not shares, everybody. Keys. No promise of future revenue based on the work of others. The how we test does not apply.
Yeah, we haven't put the NRN one on there for keys.
Does not apply to keys. Ooh, NRN keys. Interesting.
I haven't seen a lot of brands do that, though, to be fair. I feel like it's mostly just people.
Yeah. But we can fix that.
We can fix that. All right. Crier, what are we getting into today?
Well, the 8,000 posts of Pudgy people killing it, so we can do that.
I haven't heard anything about that.
I haven't seen one thing about it. So we're breaking fresh news. Pudgy Penguins released into 2,000 Walmarts. They have their plushies at $8.98 a piece. And this deal gets you a digital collectible as well. And they have a new game that is called Pudgy World that you're allowed to go in there and talk with people, voice chat, and then
slide around.
Slide around. Yep. Climb and fall.
Okay. I wanted to ask, do they sell the figurines at Walmart as well?
It's all the little things. So it's the figurines, it's the plushies, and it's like little igloos that have like little metal like 1-inch statue.
Are they combining like all the things they previously produced, like the stuff at Five Below, the figurines from Amazon, the plushies? So it's just all coming to Walmart. It's
all one, and it's all like pretty much much cheaper. So I think it's going to get a lot more traction. I mean, one of the cheapest thing is $2.97.
Dang.
I think the most expensive thing was $15. So
get an NFT for $2.97.
Yeah.
Hot damn.
So, but lifts. You were always talking about like David Horvath was talking about like, is the floor price of Disney whatever, like however much money the cheapest Disney good is?
Right.
Now, I'd like to say, like I think there's like a little bit of a divide between people saying like, oh, this is great, and then there's some people saying, oh, this creates like kind of like a McDonald's vibe. Like McDonald's is big, but like their quality isn't that great. But I mean, they make shitloads of fucking money. And I'm not saying Pudgy Penguins is like selling diabetes on the shelf, right? But it is just like, I think it solidifies their lane.
Well, it's weird. It's weird given like a long enough time horizon. Talking about McDonald's specifically, McDonald's has become like entrenched in culture now. They just did this ad campaign that was featuring all the times that McDonald's has been featured in movies. That was like one of the recent ad campaigns. And then they did a collaboration with Palace. So there's like McDonald's streetwear gear. So like even McDonald's has made the shift towards culture, which is like really interesting. But
I mean, I just think that in general, wherever this is, it's going to make them a shitload of money. And that is really good. You know, I think like a lot of money.
Well, this is the thing that I'm interested about because David Horvath did actually comment on this specifically because everyone, this is, I think, if you don't have an understanding of kind of his model, people are like, whoa, like, you know, I thought we didn't like Walmart. We're not about that. What's going on? You know, and then he clarified and said, you know, lifestyle brands probably want to avoid attention in places like Walmart. These like toy brands do want to get to mass market. And he said they live and die by play patterns. And so that's the thing is the play pattern going to hit with Pudgy toys, right? And maybe the digital toys falls under that kind of umbrella as well. But the thing that I'm most interested in, this is just me personally, is Luca's strength is in getting a product to go viral. That's what he does. He has a playbook. He did it with the Orbeez guns. He's done it with other products. He can use social media to just ramp something to the moon and like really blow it out. But then does it have sticking power, right? Like, does it get the second product order from Walmart? What does that look like? That I'm really curious about. Like, does it have the staying power?
From your point of view, though, or like maybe just, I'll give you this. Does it need to, or if they make $25 million, they can just, make a, like try to start making a show or something, like they could pivot, or do you think they're going to keep just doubling down on being a toy brand first?
That's a great question. I don't know.
I think they're kind of building all verticals at once, right? Like they've got like the Instagram videos. They're starting out with like little tidbits of things that can kind of gain interest. You know, the GIFs are their big main platform to get views, and people see them before. So you're like, oh, I've seen that penguin on my phone.
Yep,
it's only $8. Cool. Like they're doing the game part. I think they're kind of trying to build all verticals at once, really. And you mentioned the gun. So he like 2000 was it 20? I think I saw a little article that said that 2020 there was 5 million in sales on the gel blasters, and he did the same playbook where he got them into 2,000 other Walmarts, and then that from there was able to reach 75 million in the following year. So I do think this is something that has more potential also because it's a more limited capture of audience, right? Males at like what 10 to 18 is probably your target audience for the gel blasters, whereas this is a lot broader for kids in general, right?
Now, Crier, just from the point of view of like getting funding, like I'm not super keyed in about like how VCs work, but like for example, like Doodles did that round. They were valued at like 700 million. They got like 54 million.
Yeah.
And Pudgy's did a round, and I think they got like something like 7 or 9 million.
Yeah, 9.
But now, let's say they turn, $10 million in sales or something. I don't really know what.
Well, they're already over 7.
So
they're on track to do 10, right?
Won't they be able to take those numbers to a fund and get a shitload of money if they do really well and they sell out at Walmart and just use it like that? And then as opposed to just like, oh, do we need to do more toys? Just like, take a bunch of money from a couple people at a cap table and then move on.
I mean, I guess they could, but I don't really think he's planning that route. I mean, he said this is season 1 of the collectibles, toys, stuff like that. He's planning on doing a season 2, including more. The whole idea is that you're licensing the toys from the actual Pudgy collection. I think he's saying that that's super important, and I think that's going to stick with that.
Okay, Crier, maybe you have some insight on this because The licensing thing is interesting to me. There was an interview a while ago that he did, I think it was with Carly Riley, where he said that he wouldn't do the perpetual licensing model again because it was way too messy. He would just do upfront payments. But I think maybe, is that where Overpass comes into play? Has he solved that issue potentially?
I think that's that's supposed to be coming out in this upcoming quarter.
Okay.
And that is same. Yeah, exactly. It's where you're pretty much saying you're selling the rights to this. They reach a deal, but it's for any NFT, any person who wants to buy it or license it too. So, but I think that's the main focus is starting off with is Penguins, Little Pudgies are able to get their licensing directly through the Overpass, whatever the agreed upon terms, not perpetual. I think it's a good move.
That's
that lets it opens up to like more seasons, more it's only licensed for this season.
The season thing is interesting to me because that's where I'm like, that could be a winning strategy where Luka plays into his strengths of like ramping something up and then launching it and going viral. And if it doesn't have like if he has to change the play pattern or whatever, they could wind it down. Let the digital side cruise and then ramp up another season. Right, that could be a way that he solves the kind of attention issue in like toys and play patterns. I'm no expert, but that could be a winning strategy.
I mean, I definitely think it's a good strategy to start off with for sure. I mean, this is the only time that we've seen, really like a mass marketing at like a retailer that everyone knows. Really,
sure.
It's been like very minimal. We saw what like VeeFriends did. What was it, Macy's, I believe.
Toys R Us, Macy's, yeah.
Toys R Us and Macy's. They're now 50% off now. Sales were abysmal. He didn't push them very much. I didn't see a lot of like big advertising, but I don't think he got like kind of lost a lot of the support from his community. Whereas Luka has not really lost any support at all.
Right.
I think gained support because he's actually, working on the community growth specifically. Right. Like I think that as soon as the bear market hit, like, we didn't see anything from Gary Vee for a while.
Right. Except for him playing the Twitter algorithm. What's your favorite chocolate milk? Yeah. And it has,
but you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's very obvious. And I think it's if you create a Web3 community, the biggest strength there is it's practically a marketing arm for you, right? It's
can be
your digital marketing arm campaign. Well, I mean, it is.
Right. Look, if used properly.
Well, it's either negative or positive.
Oh, true. Okay, fair enough. It is or it is. Okay, yeah.
It is or it is because they either love it and they talk about it a bunch, or they hate it and you get shit on by every person on Twitter over and over.
Fair.
So like if you're not participating, I mean, we saw it pretty heavy with Doodles. I mean, they got like obliterated, like pretty heavily because people were like, well, they've abandoned us, like it was I've seen that their floor took a hit and stuff that was not, even if they're not even doing anything. Look at like Sappy Seals, like they hit like 2 ETH during the middle of the bear because they were the only people that were like gunning together or like sticking together as a community and still talking and Camel was super big into like promoting the community, right?
So what you're saying is that everyone that was Seals rotated into Pudgy Penguins, and that's
that happened big time. Yeah,
kind of. Yeah.
I think the other thing that people are not talking about, I just pinned it to the top. It's part of that thread that they dropped about cross-platform trait collabs.
Yeah.
Yep.
And there's a lot of names on there. So I mean, it's just to say, like, in a quick sense, who's comfortable with licensing their IP with a internal Web3 collabs? I mean, you're looking at Frank, you're looking at, I don't know who runs.
It's MeGods, Meebits, Campi, Pandas, Creeps, Utes, Seals, Wassiverse, and Quirkies. So I mean, that's a good amount of projects for sure.
Okay, I made a tweet last night about how I felt like Pudgy World looked eerily similar to Monoverse. I may be off my absolute rocker, but is there a world where Pudgy World is actually where Pudgy World is actually part of like an interoperable metaverse, or am I giving them too much credit?
I don't know. I haven't seen Monoverse, but I mean, I don't see why it couldn't be. I mean, the whole point of all this, I feel like the end game of all these NFTs and digital identity move is, you are able to do like a Ready Player One style where you pump your collectibles into a game world and it's persistent and you can join from other games.
Right.
And, I think that's the goal, right? So I mean, obviously, I don't think it's even close to that happening.
Sure.
But I mean, I think that's definitely something where it's in.
That's where I just saw it,
right?
and it just looked kind of similar, and I was like, there's a Moonbirds area in Monoverse, and I was like, this looks like the Budgie one. I was like, could they be? Probably not, but yeah, everyone's just trying to build a half decent product to begin with, much less worried about like the interoperable, persistent metaverse. As much as we wish. I mean, Yuga seems to be caring about that. I mean, but it's just taking a long time because it takes a long time to build a persistent, interoperable metaverse.
Yeah, especially with Improbable being dropped and then picking up the Hayden one. I think
is that official? Was that official?
I think so. Yeah, I mean, it was definitely from their channels.
Well, they said they're bringing on Hayden as an acceleration partner, and then everyone was like, "So Improbable's out," and then there's like, "We didn't say that."
Okay, well, either way, I think that's a good idea. I think that's just they're trying to expand it quickly. It's just going to take absolutely forever.
Right.
So we'll see. With the Hayden one has done a lot of work for Star Atlas, which is looking pretty interesting. There's a lot of that's the one that's going to be on. It's already had partnerships with Epic Games, so it's going to be released on Epic Games. Big, like Eve online type community where it's very commerce driven. The person that is in charge of creating the economy side of the game is from Eve, which is probably one of the most in-depth and like heavy commerce traded games. It's very
true.
So I think it's a very good move on that side where you're picking up people who are that's that's what makes a lot of this game like game style, right? Like if you have a really good, a strong economy and it's fun to do that commerce type stuff, WoW is one of the biggest persistent ones of those. They're doing over $1 trillion in gold transactions, per month. So, I mean, if that was able to be converted into ERC20, all the things you're trading are NFTs.
We would solve the U.S. national debt
very quickly.
Yeah. but Tony, to get back to what you're saying about interoperable traits, like what was your kind of view on that? What did you think about it?
I think one sense it's revealing who Luca is close with. You know what I mean? And like maybe do you think that he took the time to reach out to? I mean, like Meebits is part of Yuga, right? Isn't it?
Yeah.
Or so. I mean, I guess that's just them somewhat allowing it. Obviously, like if you were to see like some kind of mutant trait or an ape trait, or a punk, that would have been fucking cool. But I think it's a step in the right direction. What I noticed about this, I'm thinking back about Pudgy Penguins. Let's just think about brands in the Web3 space. Like, Bored Ape just collabed with Vape. Doodles did Adidas and Human Race. A lot of Web3 or NFT projects are collaborating with, like, partnering with other brands to like sell merchandise or products. But has Pudgy Penguins done that, or are they just building all of their own stuff? Or, whether that's, manufacturing it and branding it their own.
I mean, I do think they're kind of building their own.
Yeah, Igloo.
Yeah, the Huddle, man.
So
the clothing brand Igloo, yeah.
Now I'm just looking from a community sentiment standpoint. Yeah. I think that that's like a little bit more difficult to be able to sell shit. Like if you don't have like some other brand's coattails to ride on, you just have your community as well as, I guess where I think he's focused more on distribution partnerships, right? Like Amazon.
Yeah.
Now Walmart. In the long term, do you think, because I've obviously heard like, there's some kind of subpar quality to these toys. Do you think that like them doing it in-house, like they're going to be able to increase the quality and like that might give them an advantage in the future? Or do you think, kind of like what Doodles is doing, where they're, working with like all rights reserved, best in the business, the quality is what they're caring about versus how cheap they can sell it for?
Well, I don't think they actually produce any of their toys in-house, quote unquote. I think they've worked with a company, was it PMI, I think, to do their plushes, I think, and then they've done, I think, then they used another company called Network as like a launch partner for their figurine collectibles, maybe somebody else.
Is that something that's front and center in their marketing though?
I mean, on like the plushies and the tiny figurines in Walmart, I mean, it does say like PMI pretty like plainly, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I guess like I'm not
definitely. Yeah, it was
keyed into,
PMI
like,
was their toy like
Yeah, it's on the front of the
vinyl
box.
toys. They have done a lot of other stuff, but yeah, they partner with them to do it. I will say the vinyl ones are probably the least quality in terms of all the other toys. Like the plushies are very nice, and then the little igloo ones they're really small metal figurines. They look good. There's no quality issue there. And I do, we saw it on a couple of posts of people, like looks like the paint's coming off a little bit. It doesn't seem, like the plastic and the vinyl seems pretty low quality and cheap. So yeah, I do think that's the one they need to really step up on quality wise, but mine didn't have any issues, and they're definitely I don't know, they seem pretty sturdy. Like my kids play with them and stuff like that. So it really depends on, and he was very, adamant about like, if you have any issues, just we'll give you a new one, super quick or whatever. So I do think, yeah, but the vinyl needs to step up a little quality wise. I don't know if they're planning on doing any of their own like creation of them. I think that would probably be a lot more difficult. But overall, I do think that, this is the first iteration, first push. Again, like when I see it, it's like it's like the price point thing. Like if I go to the store and my kids are like, "Oh, can I get a toy?" And I'm like, I'm not spending, $50. Like I'm spending like under $10 every time. You know what I mean? Like they're something it's a little cute toy they can play with, or a little doll or something like that. So I do think that the price point hits really well. So
Yeah,
I do think that.
I mean, not to fud my own bags. Right now, Doodles is trying to sell toys to adults, right?
For sure.
That's a fucking uphill battle, right? Like I do think like some people like to collect things, but like let's be fair, like toys should be sold to kids.
Yeah.
And I think you make
well, I mean, I'm like a massive Doodles fan. I would never buy that fucking statue. Like so expensive. It's wild.
It's just like I guess it's really like a different like economy of scale. Yeah. Like you're saying, I mean, I guess unless you're like really wealthy, yeah, like why? I mean, I obviously like wouldn't be like, hey, go play with this Doodles half figurine.
Right,
like I would be like,
right.
Nope, this thing goes on the shelf.
Yeah.
And they did have some of those things at camp, but I guess their mass market play right now is supposed to be Doodles 2, which is digital. I think that what Pudgy Penguins is doing with this onboard through physical.
Yeah.
I'm really curious to see the metrics of how many people are online of that game and how successful they are. Because I'm sure that people that are in Web3 will get on there. It's just like how many kids will actually get on there. And I wonder like if it's going to be like moderated, because like people could be on there doing kind of outlandish shit. I don't know, like if Club Penguin, like had some kind of like child lock on it or some kind of like curse word monitoring or something.
That's a good question. I do think though, I'm so interested in the whole kind of digital toys for kids, because I was at an event a couple weeks ago and there was this like, mom and her little girl like sitting in front of us, and the little girl had an iPad and she was going to town on this like avatar builder, right? It was just like like a Barbie doll kind of style, and she was just going ham on like changing the avatar. And of course none of this was NFTs, but I was just like, this is wild that kids are growing up with this kind of play pattern, and this could easily be transitioned to something like Pudgy World, the interoperable traits, or the Doodles 2 Studio. I'll just be really interested once kids get their hands on it. I'm sure they're getting some data on the studio now at camp. They're seeing, kids interact to the studio live. in person.
Well, I mean, my kids loved it. They had a great time. They definitely experienced that. I think that was definitely a good move. And the experience of like $30 to, 35 bucks to do that for your kids, I feel like is not overly priced, right? Like, and the other merchandise, like the clothes and stuff like that, was not terribly overpriced either. So I think it really comes down to like product and price. People aren't, unless you have like an incredibly strong connection to something, like RSG style Marvel problem,
right?
Where, like you're not going to spend a bunch of money on something unless you're like that, you know what I mean? So he's, the double gauntlets for Thanos or some shit. Like you're not, like that's a very small niche person, right? So when you have, good.
Well, I was about to say, like to your point, a lot of people have talked about, like the price of Doodles 2 wearables, for example. And a lot of people were saying like, the price needs to come down, like down to make them more collectible, right? In the sense of like a Pokemon card, where I don't even know what the value of a single Pokemon card is, but I'm sure it's, less than $1, maybe less than 50 cents or something like that if you break down the pack cost. And that's how much
you get 13 for a pack. I think a pack is like $8.
Sure.
So.
Right. And then, but there also is at the top of the top of the top, or at the bottom of the bottom of the bottom of the funnel, if you will, the PSA graded 9 Charizard first edition, which is
$6,000,
whatever, but it does exist. But I think you can enter the ecosystem for, like you said, $8 or whatever a pack costs.
That I think, like you said, that's major. I think if the whole economies of scale thing is like, you want this group of people on your brand attached to 10x until you can start to like, start taking things seriously, and then 10x it again, right? And then you're like at, like what, 1 million people or something,
bro.
Yeah.
Just looking for the next 1000x,
That's right. We're doing it with onboarding. No, but I mean, I think it was a good move for sure. What else? What else we got? Dude, we had a bunch of new stuff come out.
I mean, so Sugartown has some news this week. I mean, they're starting staking today. In 20 minutes. Your boy will be there staking.
I will be one of the 400 to test it out.
Oh, I guess that makes 2 of us.
Oh, I'll see you on the leaderboard, my friend.
Yes, indeed. No, so that's exciting.
Tony, you get in there?
Huh?
Tony, get in?
No, I was at permissionless and I didn't mint. I got egged.
Oh my god, bro!
I know.
I did get left in it. But I was learning about DeFi. So,
well, I could have taught you all that.
It's true. Permissionless was a formative experience for Tony, so well worth it.
Yeah, DeFi is the best.
Dude, I was actually just speaking with a psychiatrist yesterday who he basically started his private practice in psychiatry via DeFi. I don't know what that means. So I don't know if he got a loan or like, got his money up or whatever, but he was having trouble getting traditional financing to start a private practice and ended up turning to DeFi to do so. And I was like, that is an awesome story. So
that's huge.
But Sugartown, so we have the staking today. LBT reveal more info tomorrow, which is the Lifebound token using the 1155 token bound account, which I think is awesome. That a Web2 company like Zynga is coming in and using like kind of cutting edge Web3 tech.
Yeah,
like that's awesome. And so then the NGMI alpha test will be over the weekend, right? 400 people getting to play the games, whatever it is. That'll be stoked. I'm prepared to be glued to my computer for the weekend for sure.
Yeah, I have my continuing education on chiropractic this week.
Oh, so you'll be playing the whole time.
So I'll be for sure. No, we'll see, but yeah,
the CU's rolling in the background. We know how it is. We know how it is.
It's in person. It's a bunch of them.
Oh, so you'll be on mobile.
Yeah, mobile. If it's mobile friendly, we'll participating.
That's awesome. I really don't know what to expect. I mean, other than the trailers. I mean, have you gotten any sense of
No, I haven't really seen it. I do. It's competitive. It's gonna be. I feel like it's gonna be like an easy style game for sure. Like I don't think
kind of casual,
intense, casual, and then I think it's gonna be obviously they're going to have just rounds of these all the time. I think that's kind of the goal or the idea that they're going to try to get across is competitive leaderboards, prizes, and simple.
I did see one kind of hot take from Jonah on Sugartown I thought was interesting because he was kind of bullish on a few other games, like I think Proof of Play and stuff like that. And he was talking about Sugartown. And he mentioned that they had mentioned they're bringing back this game like Goat. And he made an interesting point. And I'm definitely not like a gamer. I haven't been in the gaming ecosystem, so I'm not as familiar with these kind of things. But he was like, I would hate to see Zynga like recycle a bunch of their old dead games into Web3, right? And I was like, oh, I don't think that's not my sense of what's happening, but it's definitely something to be aware of, right?
For sure. Who were we talking with last week that was talking about Zynga? I think it was Kyle.
Was it Kyle?
Kyle, yeah, he said they already released a game. They're super like not Zynga, but the one of the heads of Zynga, I can't remember, CFO or CTO, one of them, already released a project. It was really cool, gaming focused. So I do think it's going to be new stuff for sure. Like I don't think it's going to be cycle stuff. But I mean, I do think it's definitely focused on just Web3 people though. Like the more and more I think about it, the more and more I think it's going to be very focused on the 10,000 people that are playing, right? I was going to think more of it like, oh, well, if you have the Game Pass or whatever, you'll get better benefits or whatever. Right. But I think it's going to be just like, these are the 10,000 people that can play.
It could be. I kind of had that kind of freemium model in my head too. I was like, oh, okay, like, yeah, the Auras holders, the pass holders are going to get, extra perks or benefits. I guess the cool thing about Zynga is if they wanted to, they could test this game in the Web3 space, figure out all the kinks to interoperable game assets, and they could flip a switch and just like launch it on Facebook or something like that,
For sure.
So,
or the test dummies.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're so niched off that no one gives a fuck.
The beta feedback will never leave the NFT Twitter sphere. It'll never make it out alive.
Yeah. Like, what is this guy talking about?
Auras.
Stupid penguin talking about.
Zynga isn't building a Web3 game. What are you talking about? Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I do think that seems pretty interesting. I'm excited for it. And then we had, what was it? Legends of the Mara come out.
Ooh, LOTM, if you will.
Yeah. What a fantastic start of the game. I log in with my $16,000 land.
What happened?
Put my aura in. I have to wait 7 days.
7
to start it up.
Days.
Let's go. Yeah.
Wait, how are some people already playing?
Oh, you had to pay Ape to quickly hatch your thing. So I'm not doing that. I feel like it's just insane. The first mechanic that you get
is just a giant ape
either
sink.
Pay $50 or wait 7 days. And I'm just like, I fucking hate you right now.
Just
you got me twice now.
Just to get a good little ape sink, Oh man.
Gave way too much to the VCs and their price is taking. So let's make a really heavy.
So, but I mean, what's your sense? Have you seen any gameplay? Like, what is your sense of the
gameplay? It looks like a card battler type style. Grow and Frankie Dukes are both in there playing stuff like that. He did, I can't remember how many he did. I think he did 3 lands so far. Pretty much essentially you have your lands. Your lands are able to house the 3 different types of Mara. So you got a vessel from your land for free. And it was either a hunter, an enchanter, or a farmer. So hunters essentially give your land and protect your land so stuff can attack you. And then farmers are gathering more resources. And then enchanters can do like a mix. You can choose which one you want to do. And then the codas that were given away from the lands, which are like the rare ones or whatever, can do any of the 3. Right. So, I personally think that probably codas will really drop in price because they don't offer a lot versus like
the premium they were fetching was like to the tune of like 100 ETH at some point.
I mean, yeah, like the floor is like 3 ETH and it's like you don't get benefits of all 3 at one time. So it's like there's no different than buying, I guess, like the cheapest enchanter, which is like 0.3. So I don't see a lot of value there. But the other three, if you do, because each of them also are like legendary and all the other nonsense. Like, they're all tiered, graded. So it hatches after 7 days, and you're gonna get like an uncommon, common, rare, legendary. And then, so the legendary enchanter, which is like the top tier enchanter, is about 1.25 ETH right now. So they do have a pretty good premium on that side. And then, the other ones are ranging between like 0.4. I think the cheapest is the hunter. It's like the cheapest one you can get right now is like 0.16, I believe. So prices on the floor didn't really change, but like obviously it made like a huge spectrum of now new pricing available for the rarity of ones.
If your Coda is wearing a Gucci pendant, do they get extra powers?
I don't know. I don't know about that one. But so far, I mean, like logged in, wasn't able to do anything for 7 days, so now I'm just kind of pissed off. Similar to the other one, which I'm also pissed off about. Heavy metal sucks ass. So.
Well, okay. To be fair, to give them a little bit of credit, it does seem to be kind of like shipping season in the way that like a lot of products are actually launching. So now we're not speculating, is it good? Is it not going to be good? It's actually just kind of like everything is getting released. So now we can go in, especially I think it's nice that there's a comparative factor to it. People can like mess around in Pudgy World and go like, do I want to do this more than wander around the dungeons in the Rift? Like, what do I to have a, what is it? Gosh,
all of them are like crazy shallow.
Yes.
Like that's the problem.
Yes. Sure.
And realistically, the only one I've been like actually playing is Parallel, because Parallel is good.
Sure.
And then like, Frankie and Grow are both playing. They fought their like first shade or whatever it's called. It's like the bad guy. And it's it looked kind of interesting and stuff like that, but to me it didn't look like a lot of in-depth strategy. So it looks very like it just blows my mind that to be playing this game right now, like if you had from zero to go and to play this game, it's like 0.25 for the cheapest land, which is worthless because you don't get that many slots to like put your codas on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you want to be actually competitive, you have to spend like 20 grand, which is wild to me. Like I'm not paying for anything. I have a shitty land and I have one vessel, and I'm not gonna get anything. I'm gonna get like 3 of the first of all, I'm not gonna get anything for 7 days. And then secondly, I'm not gonna get any of the like all the resources off my land or whatever to resell and all this stuff. I'm gonna get like one piece where someone's getting 206.
It'll be really interesting if there's like a market correction in the way that a lot of people like yourself have held other deeds or pudgies or like you said, Parallel, like these tokens for like a long time, waiting for the games to come out. And now they're all coming out around the same time. And you got to be looking at it saying, what am I like spending my time playing?
Yeah.
I'm enjoying playing Parallel. Sure. I am not even looking forward to playing Legends tomorrow whatsoever. So there might be other people with a different experience, you know what I mean, who are like, oh, I really enjoy Legends tomorrow, and that's fine. But imagine if we're going to see some shakeup because these tokens were held in waiting for a long time, if that makes sense.
I definitely agree. Yeah. And I do know this is kind of like the mini game coming out before the other side and all that type of stuff. So you're like gathering resources to most likely, I would assume, to use in the other side or whatever. And it's kind of like a little card game. So I do expect it to be, I don't know, I just feel like I just hate when you like, I've been waiting for all this time and I spent a bunch of money on this thing and it's like just zero. Like you just always have to it's just crazy punishing pay to win type mechanics. Like that's like all they've done so far.
Sure.
I hate games that do that naturally. Like,
which
as soon as Boom Beach got like a little bit pricey, I'm like, I'm fucking done. I'm like, I'm not wasting my money on this.
Which is not doing us any favors in the regular gaming community, who already is very concerned that NFTs are going to be a method of extracting value from players. 100%. So definitely worth thinking about, a problem worth solving.
And it's very like gambly, right? Too. Like it's like if I don't get a legendary hunter release, like I'm gonna be down terribly, because I'm gonna, it's gonna be worth like 0.16 or whatever.
Yeah,
I don't know. I just feel like when you attach money to all of the games, I mean, there is that like, wow, it's incredible, and it's a real economy and stuff like that. But also on the negative side, when they keep producing assets and keep releasing stuff, it's like it's very much so. I don't know. You get a bad taste in your mouth and you don't want to return. Like I love DFK. I played the shit out of that game. When I opened my account and I'm like, oh my god, all this stuff used to be worth like $500,000 and now it's worth like $2,000. What's the drive to play it or gather these things, right? It's very, I don't know, it's a big gap to kind of like overcome. Like I don't think there's not a mechanic that will be like, oh yeah, let's do this.
Yeah, it's interesting because I'm even like, and then there's Rec League, like the fact that I can't actually name all the playable Web3 games on one hand right now is rather impressive, actually. That I'm like, oh yeah, another playable Web3 game is out there. So I really do think it's going to come down to, there's only so many hours in a day. What are people playing? What are people enjoying? And I almost think that, like, despite the history, because that it almost seems like so far gone at this point, like the Other Side Mint was an eternity ago. I think it's hard to like, I think it's hard to compute that value with today. Almost like it's just not gonna add up. So I think it'll probably just come down to, maybe this is some version of like capitulation. It'll just come down to like, is it fun? Do people want to play? Are they spending their time there? They'll hold the tokens or they won't.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure I feel like I'll end up holding them. I don't know. Depends on the taxes this year, to be honest.
Fair.
If I can claim, if it's 16 is a claimable loss,
the other deed tax loss harvesting is going to be a sight to behold.
That's the crazy thing. It's like I bought it cheap. Like I bought it fairly down after mint too. Like I waited a long time and it was still like ETH was too high that time.
So funny. I think it's gonna be, I mean, it really does sound like the next couple of weeks are just gonna be really interesting. I think
kind of mechanics shake out.
Yeah, once everything kind of shakes out, hopefully.
I mean, if you look at it's the heavy metals themselves. Like, so that game came out a week later. Their price was doing very well. Like it went from 0.4, 0.5 to like 1 ETH, and then now we're back down to like 0.2. So longevity of these things I don't think are good because there's not a lot of strategy or not a lot of things to do. So you get bored with it and you're like, well, these are just losing value out the ass. And then the ultra super rare, all the really high end stuff holds value because there's that many dedicated Yuga fans.
Right.
So, but anything on the floor just gets like obliterated over time.
Yep. It's going to be interesting. I also heard as kind of a different note, and not that we need to totally dive down this rabbit hole because we might have to run pretty soon so I can stake my aura. But I did hear through the grapevine that potentially Blur may be dropping like a perps product or an index product or something like that, which I think could be really interesting.
I like that.
Yeah, I'm like, something about that makes it a little more complex, if that makes sense. Like if you have a perps product, maybe the floor doesn't get obliterated into oblivion, if that makes sense. If people are longing it on the same platform, like it could just introduce a little more balance to the force.
I kind of feel like the blend is already a little bit like that. Like you're putting no money down, you're able to get, like, if you were like the announcement yesterday for Pudgy, great example. If you were long on Pudgies yesterday, you could have picked up like 6 Pudgies for 1.5 ETH.
Yes. Yeah. That's definitely been like like an ancillary way to get exposure, but maybe this is a little more direct. Maybe it'll make a little more
like
sense to more people. Yeah, just long and short, as opposed to more of like a side hedge or something,
Yeah. I mean, I've used a lot of the other platforms. I used like NFT Perp when they were in their first beta. I shorted the Azuki.
Hey, we were both there, dude.
Shorted the Azuki drop.
I know. I will never forget.
Closed out.
I never forget. I put in the Discord. I'm like, who's shorting Azuki? And then someone else was like, all of us. And I was like,
Wait.
Okay.
I didn't get super greedy, and I exited like the day before, so
awesome.
2 days before or something. Because it was like I exited around 8.
Nice.
And they end up recalling all the people that got it down to like 3 or whatever. Like they had like insane profits. They're like, well, we don't have any money to pay you guys. So
that's I know V2 of NFT Perp is relaunching, but I'm curious that if Blur, I get the sense like if Blur launches one, it might be game over for all these other kind of like Wasabi protocol.
Well, they have the liquidity to actually honor this stuff, first of all.
Yeah.
And then second of all, way more well known, obviously.
Yep.
I also saw with Looks Rare that Looks Rare had like a new like YOLO thing.
Oh, the YOLO! Oh my god! Yeah, I saw like Min did a stream of it. He's like turning 1K into 10K. Like you're just dumping 0.1 into the wheel over and over again. I was like, bruh,
gambling,
dude.
But I think it's kind of interesting to like these projects are trying to make new products that are. I think that has a great product market fit right now because the only people left are like huge gamblers. What do you think all these shitcoins are? Like
it's blending the lines, right? Like Rollbits turned into a full-blown ass trading platform, you know what I mean? And so it just is going in reverse. Like Marketplace turns into a casino. Like it's just yeah. All is fair in love and war, I guess.
I made 0.39 on it.
Hey, there you go, YOLO. I do think though.
Threw OPEP in there.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh yeah, I forgot you could do NFTs. That's hilarious. Dude, I think that I do think that if Blur diversifies their product offering, though, it actually changes my kind of view of them a little more positively in a way. Yeah. Like I know they've gotten obviously a lot of shit, but if they have like perps and things like that, or an index fund, it makes it seem a little more balanced in a weird way. I don't know why. It's not just bidding on NFTs.
I think their platform is great. I just think the way that they're handling the farming. Like they've told all the people they're getting these points, blah blah blah.
True.
That's why they're getting all the shit.
Yeah,
because they keep releasing seed like private funding rounds that are pulling out like $49 million worth of Blur tokens, while not giving. Season 2 was supposed to close months ago.
Fair,
right? So I think that's what the main anger is coming from. I think they're the private seed rounds are leeching all of the value out of the Blur token, right? It's down to like 20 cents. If they add a new, perps can be a huge boon to the Blur. If you have to use Blur token or something like that, essentially like that could be an interesting move for them as like a reason to. The whole point of all of this stuff is you got to figure out how to keep your token valuable, right? Like
true.
That's what Ape's trying to do, like kind of figure out what's a sink enough that people will do it, right? Like 7-day wait time for $40. You're gonna do that, and most people did. Like, pretty much everyone that I've seen, no problem. So, it's definitely getting them in that direction for sure. What's the time to stake?
It is 9 o'clock.
All right, boys. I gotta bounce.
All right, Tony.
T-Dog. See you, baby.
Have a good one.
Good luck. Chris in here. What's up, Chris? Got the Moon Dog.
All right, let's see. I'm processing my staking transaction as we speak. You actually have to go to the Play tab. So if you go to Play and then you connect your wallet, do like an age verification.
Discord and do it properly.
It's pending stake now.
Was it announced on their Twitter or anything?
It is not.
What's the website?
I went to the Twitter link, to be fair. So
all right, cool. I'll see that.
Yo,
what's up, Chris? We're just staking our Sugartown auras.
Whoa, what?
Yeah, they're stakeable.
How did I do that?
If you go to the website, and I went through the Twitter for the official link, quote unquote, and then you go to the play tab, and then you connect your wallet. Does like an age verification or just
Sugar Town. It'll make me rich staking it.
Get those points. Total energy earned 0. Oh,
I got 2, baby.
Hang tight. Mayor Mel is reviewing all the NGMI footage and calculating the winners.
Well, I'm glad I joined. I had no idea about
What's their official Twitter?
Visit
Sugartown?
It is at Visit Sugartown. That's correct.
Just go to
these motherfuckers.
Just go to Sugartown/wallet drainer /.xyz and just connect to that contract.
Oh, okay. We may need to stream some of this. Whoa. Okay, because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games on their game deck here.
But you can play them already?
People are buying some.
No.
They're only they're back down to 0.2. I feel like I could definitely do well.
I'm gonna turn off the music because it's just blasting my ear holes.
There it is. The official.
Dude, I wonder, can I do add my screen to StreamYard?
Yeah.
All right, let's check it out here. Yeah, should we show a little Sugartown?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's see here.
GM Chris.
GM Crier. I'm very hungry, but I decided to join you guys first before.
There you go.
8. All right. What I do? I gotta accept these terms. Confirm my age.
You old as F.
Yeah. Oh, steak. Let's go.
That's what I'm saying, baby.
Steak this bad boy. Are you sure you want to get rid of this? Yeah. Send it. Full send. Network is busy. Man, it's costing me $6 to stake this thing.
Ooh, I got an early $5. Ew.
Did you guys know that Pudgy Penguins got in the Walmart?
Yes, not allowed.
Do we spend so long talking about that already? All right, why is this?
All right, I'm staked. Let's go.
Oh, here you go. Share screen. Share screen. Okay, Sugartown home. Oh, wait, no. Yeah, okay. Okay, check it out. Look at this. For the world to see. In a world where you just staked your Sugartown aura.
You have a very good narrator voice.
Thank you. Could we be the first people streaming Sugartown live on X and YouTube simultaneously? Just saying. Should we take a look around here? So we've got this tower. I know they've kind of teased this as being the Sugartown leaderboard, quote unquote, or the sugar board. So let's take a look at the games here. So we have this one that's locked. I think this might be the NGMI, potentially. This looks like the GOAT game that we've seen. This got some casino vibes, playing to the D-Gens, of course. Let's see. Then this here, don't know what that is. Maybe some kind of matching game. This one's a little more blurred, hard to see. And then we've got the unknown. Maybe this is the rift they've been talking about this whole time. No events. It says inactive. So just hang tight. Miramel is reviewing some footage. The player guide is not available yet. Your inventory is where you see all of your items, set your game PFP, and stake your auras. Okay. When staked, your auras get filled with energy. Energy is used to play games. Playing games earns you sugar crystals. And to win rewards, climb the leaderboard by getting the most sugar crystals. All right, so we got to get the sugar crystals. That's the only way. Okay, so we got a leaderboard here. Okay. Let's see the, so nothing on the leaderboard yet, I'm assuming. It's just little old me. Take a look at the inventory here. All right, so total energy 0, 1 staked NFT, which you can set as your PFP. Why not? No? All right, it didn't show up as my PFP yet, but it's okay. We're still early. We're in beta. Oh, you can zoom in and out. Trippy. Okay, so it's like kind of a interactive environment. Oh, snap. Okay. Oh, the sugar board was on the other side the whole time.
One of the screens says VPN.
No way. Does it?
Yeah.
Is this some gameplay footage? Whoa. Is this some gameplay footage right
here? I
here?
was about to say, it looks like we're getting a sneak peek of some gameplay footage.
Oh, come on. Bring it back. Bring it back now, y'all. Okay. Got some Super Mario vibes. Okay. Cool. Oh, yeah, it does say, VPN, very powerful network. That's really funny. Very portable network. That's what it says.
I
very
had
perfect
to get rid
network.
of my VPN to get into this thing.
Well, we don't. Very precious network. This is funny. They're just like kind of joking on VPNs. Well, they're not issuing a token. It's all off-chain points. So like the VPN is not really necessary. So maybe they're just kind of like.
Well, if you're not in the US, you're not allowed to use it. I was outside. I don't ever have it in the US.
Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. Can we go under the? Okay, so maybe some little exploring to do here. All right, cool. Well,
I'm gonna do mine as well.
All right, we've taken a look around Sugartown a little bit. It's pretty sweet. Have they tweeted about it yet?
They did tweet, and then he sent out a bunch of stuff on Discord and stuff.
Okay, nice. Noise.
Awaiting wallet action.
Cool.
Are we live on Twitter as well? I know there's Twitter Space.
Yeah. What's that?
I have no idea. I tried to mute Chris on Riverside, but yeah, we're live on X and YouTube simultaneously. We're live everywhere. Everywhere you can view your content.
Stake the NFTs. 396.
Ooh, you dirty dog.
Got him.
No, that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to mess around in there before it's dropped. It seems like there's some, like you said, there's some gameplay footage, some little hints, stuff like that, which is awesome.
I do think it matters how much energy you have too. So I want to see.
Yeah, that's
as this kind of rolls out.
That's what they're saying. Stake early.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys, I'm gonna grab a bite to eat. Just stopping in to say, hey, check out some Sugartown. Glad I came by.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I got to run too.
Learn something new every day.
I want someone to look at the Sugartown contract and see who was the first person to stake. That's the real question. All right, Crier. I better run to get ready for a meeting here, but dude, it's been good chatting about all the different gaming stuff. I mean, I think it's just awesome that we have so much gaming stuff to talk about.
What the fuck? Mine say transaction error.
Oh.
Let's see here. Oh, I missed the stake all button. Motherfuck. That's probably what happened.
Interesting. All right, my guy. I'm going to end the live, and then we'll boogie.